a bunch of mullein flowers. This is a medicinal wild herb that grows here in the Pacific Northwest, here in Washington Zone 8. And I've been getting this amount probably about every day. And this is from yesterday, and this is from today's harvest. And I'm going to show you guys how to make mullein oil. And it's very, very good for earaches, cuts, scrapes, bruises, things like that, but particularly good for earaches. So if you have a baby or a kid that frequently gets ear infections or earaches, this is a wonderful all-natural herbal remedy for that. And it's completely free, except for the little bit of olive oil that you'll be using in this recipe. So I'm going to go out and show you what the actual plants look like. Because if you have them in your yard, you'll be able to recognize them as being mullein. It's a nice day. It's about 80 degrees out. July 20th, I do believe. Okay, the sprinkler is near the ones I wanted to show you, but I've got others, actually. I'll take you over here and show you these ones. I kind of have a little route, a picking route. I start with these ones. These two here, and then you can see they got really big fuzzy leaves, kind of like lamb's ear. And so there's this one. And I've already picked almost all the flowers off of it this morning. But every single morning, the little flowers open. Here's another one. The bees love them too. The bees are always all over them. I always try to leave some flowers for the bees. And what I miss, it's really cool because the flowers that I miss, they fall down and they kind of get stuck in the leaves. They either land right on the leaves or they land in a nice little, pocketed area where I can just pick them up, and they hardly ever just hit the ground. So it's really cool. So I check in all the cracks and crevices and stuff and on top of the leaves and gather those first from the ones that I might have missed and have fallen off. So, sprinkles feels good. Whew, but it is cold. Well water. So we have a big mullein there. I'm just going to zoom in on it because I don't really want to get too wet. You can see that tall flowery spike, and it's on that big huge stalk there. And then we have these here right in front. Same thing, nice tall stalk. I've gotten most of the flowers off of that, and as well as that one there. And this is the most I've ever had in my garden in 1 year. It's really impressive. This is what they look like when they're a little bit smaller. Just a little shorter. That one's just like chest height to me, and it doesn't even have any flowers on it quite yet. And same thing with this one. It's just a little guy. But these over here, these are the Mac Daddies. They're huge. I mean, they're so tall now that I kind of have to either get a ladder or bend them down to be able to pick off of them. But you can see they kind of start to curl up a little bit when they've been spent. And then they're wide open when they're really fresh. Super tall. And these ones have some prime flowers, but they're so high up that I can't even get to them. I mean, that's as high as I can reach, and there's still another foot and a half of flowers, and same thing with this one. I got my beans winding around it. So anyway, another cool thing about mullein is you can dry the leaves and use them in smoking blends. Very beneficial and good, believe it or not, for your lungs. It's a lung herb. Got some little beans starting here. Here, little beans. These are 1,000-year-old cave beans. They've got a cool story behind them. And I got those from Baker Creek. Okay, and it looks like I have one more right here. So there's going to be a lot more to pick tomorrow morning. And I've just been picking as much as I can and making a couple different batches, probably 2 or 3 different batches of mullein oil this year, because I've never had this many mullein grow in my garden before, and sometimes you don't get any. So I'm making enough batches to where it's going to last me probably 3 or 4 years if I don't have any mullein growing in my garden after this. So anyway, we'll take you back inside. So this is my mullein flower oil, and it's basically just, it's kind of bad lighting in here, but it's just full of all those flowers, just organic olive oil. That was the first batch that I made. Then I have a second batch as well. Let me take this outside so you can actually see it. Okay, so this is actually what it looks like. Just kind of an oily infusion, really. What you gotta do is stick this in a sunny windowsill or in a greenhouse to where it's gonna get that heat that it needs to infuse, and for about 2 weeks, and that's all you do. It's super simple. Okay guys, so I am here to show you just how easy it is to make mullein oil. And I've already got a batch going here. And this is what it looks like so far. And this is just olive oil and mullein flowers. And so far it's been sitting for about a week, and I've just been adding to it. So these are all mullein flowers that I've picked over the last 2 days. This is from about a dozen mullein plants. And I've just let them wilt, just about maybe about 24 hours or so, just so you know, they get a little bit of moisture out, because you don't really want a bunch of moisture in your oil, or it can make it go rancid. Okay, so all you do is just simply get your vessel of choice. I like to use a glass mason jar, and you just pack it in there just like that. Super easy. Get that down into the oil there. Okay, let's add some more here. I'm going to try to add all of this in. My cat's begging for attention. And I'm still going to need to leave some room to top this off with some olive oil. So I don't really want to pack it too tight, but that's what I have left, and I think I can get that in there. And it'll be okay. I've made 2 big batches of mullein oil this year, just because I've had such an abundance of mullein growing in my garden. It doesn't usually happen. Usually I'll get like maybe 1, 2, or 3 good-sized plants, but this year I had a dozen, and that's pretty good. So I'm making good use. This is either feast or famine, and right now it's feast, and this is going to hold us through the famine when I might not have mullein in my garden. Okay, and all I have here is just, this is organic olive oil, and it's cold pressed, and you just top it off. You want everything to be underneath oil. You don't want any anything poking up, and it looks like it's all covered there. You can see how much I actually packed in there. And you just put a lid on it, and you're going to want to label it and date it, and that's all there is to it. You just want to put it in a nice hot windowsill, because the heat from the sun is going to activate this, and it's going to pull the healing properties out of the mullein flowers and into the oil. And after about 2 weeks of it sitting in the sun there, all you do is strain it out and discard the flowers, put them in your compost, and you're ready to jar up your mullein oil. You can also add some different types of oils to it, for instance almond oil, and you can use it on your skin for eczema and all sorts of things. So I hope this has empowered you to go pick some mullein flowers if you have them in your yard and make your own mullein oil. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video.